Hi, everybody. This is Arkady Frekhtman. I'm a New York City personal injury trial attorney. And today I wanted to talk about something that I thought was really interesting in a continuing legal education, or CLE, that I did last week. So this was a CLE about the Dram shop. And the Dram shop law in New York just basically says that if somebody goes into, let's say, a bar, and they're already visibly intoxicated, like they're slurring their speech, they can't walk, they're unsteady on their feet, and then the bar continues to serve them. And then they go out, let's say they get in a car, and then they hit someone because they're a drunk driver, and then they kill someone, right? So now what happens is the person, the victim, can then sue the bar for dram shop for serving somebody who should not have been served. And it works even the same way if you serve someone who's under 21, because that's a child, right? So there's different laws, and it's under the general obligations law. But this one particular aspect of it is very interesting because it just shows how silly or how crazy the law is in New York, right? Because New York also has a wrongful death law, but the wrongful death law is antiquated, super old, back in the 1800s, because it doesn't allow for like mental distress. It doesn't allow for example, emotional injury. And then they want to change that. They have a bill called the Grieving Families Act, and it was supposed to be, signed into law, but for whatever reason, the governor keeps vetoing it. Governor Hochul keeps vetoing it, probably because the insurance lobby is so strong. I don't know why, but it's just, the point is, look at this. They have two different decisions. So one decision is called Winjay versus Cavalry Veterans of Syracuse, and it's a Fourth Department case. And what happened here was the plaintiff was driving her own car at 11:30 at night, and she saw an object in the road, and she tried to swerve to avoid it, but she couldn't, so she hit the object. And then she thought, she got out of her car to check, like, what did she hit? She thought maybe I hit like an animal of some sort. And then she observed instead that it was the decapitated body of a man. And the man had been intoxicated at the time of his death, right? And he had been drinking at a local establishment. And so the plaintiff, the lady who hit him, she basically filed a lawsuit against the bar for serving this guy, right? And letting him go out there and be drunk, for her own like emotional harm, for hitting this guy and killing him, even though she's the one who killed him. But I guess she was emotionally distraught because she's just driving along and there's like an object in the road. She tries to swerve, she can't swerve, she hits something, and it turns out to be, she takes the guy's head off, and it turns out to be she hits this guy. So she actually succeeded. She won this case. I don't know how much money she got, but she won this case, and it was held to be a legal, she won the case, a successful claim against the establishment for the emotional harm. Now look at another case. Another case was that a parent wanted to sue because they had the emotional injury that their child was killed by a drunk driver. So they also wanted to sue. And that was the Marsico case, Marsico versus Southland Corp. And this is in the Second Department, also another appellate division. Second Department actually covers Brooklyn and Queens and Long Island, and Fourth Department is upstate, like Syracuse. So this case, the court actually granted the summary judgment motion of the defendant, meaning we're going to grant you a judgment as a matter of law. We're not even going to get to a jury because there's no issue or question of fact for a jury to decide. And they said basically the statute, this general obligations law, the Dram shop statute, does not permit recovery for mental distress suffered by a parent, nor projected future means of support by the decedent who had not contributed to his parents' support and who had no legal duty to assume such a responsibility. So they're basically saying, you have no right to sue because that's like the Grieving Families Act, right? Because it's the emotional damage of like losing, even though they lost like a child and it was hit by a drunk driver and the drunk driver was being served by an establishment. You can't sue for that. But if you hit like somebody, you thought you hit an animal, and it turns out, oh no, wait a minute, I hit a drunk guy, you could sue as the person hitting the drunk guy. So just think about how absurd that is. Like what society would have a law like that? Like it's just, I don't know, it's just mind-boggling. So anyway, so in this case, they're basically saying even funeral expenses are not classified as means of support damages, which cannot be recovered by a parent individually absent a showing that the parent has not possessed of sufficient means to support himself without the aid of his injured child. I don't know. So they're basically like, they're looking at everything in a pecuniary way, right? Like if the parent, all about like support and things like that, but it's not just pecuniary. I mean, your child is not a cash cow. Your child is your child. You love your child. You want to spend time with your child. It's the human element. And they've just completely, eliminated that because it's the statute from the 1800s. And so we have to wait for them to change it. So on the one hand, like this, parent who lost a child cannot recover anything, but a lady who inadvertently, tried to swerve and hit somebody and just has like a few seconds emotional harm from killing a drunk driver, she can recover compensation. So it's just absurd. I just thought it was interesting. I thought I would do a video about it just to show the absurdity of the law. And, hopefully maybe it could lead to some kind of change. I mean, I know we have the statute out there. If they pass the statute, then at least we'll have the Grieving Families Act. And then, you could sue for emotional harm and you could sue for these things like we talked about in this case. But unfortunately, that's the way it is now. So let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Let us know what you think. I think this is an interesting topic. I'll do another video maybe where I go through the CLE and I explain all of the nature of the dram shop law, how it works, what you can do, what you can't do under the dram shop law. Because I think, it is a very interesting statute where you can sue establishments like bars, clubs that serve alcohol to visibly intoxicated people or people under 21. And then those people go out and they harm third parties. It's the third party who can then bring a claim against the establishment. It's never the drunk person who can bring the claim, but the third party who gets harmed. And we actually had a dram shop case that my partner Richard took to trial and ended up settling after that. So so he's very familiar with those kind of cases, and they're very interesting cases. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Our goal is helping serious injury victims and families. If you have a question and we could help you, we'll give you a free consultation. Just text me 347-566-9595. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.